Good Sunday morning, folks, and thanks for joining us on Inside the Valley this morning. First off, we are talking to Cameron County District Attorney Luis Saenz. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and your busy day to come out here and talk to us this morning.
And good morning, and thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. So we are going to be talking about, and you just handed me this, now kind of explain, we can talk about what we'll be discussing about what this ribbon actually represents.
This ribbon represents October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And the colors are purple because that's the color of the bruises that, for the most part, females receive at the hands of a perpetrator. Domestic violence is a very serious problem in Brownsville and Cameron County. It takes various forms, physical abuse, verbal abuse, and unfortunately in this day and age with the cell phone and social media, now we have digital abuse, which is you know, the constant texting or sending of direct messages, harassing your loved one as to where they are and trying to control their lives. Definitely,
and as you mentioned, this is an issue that is very prevalent in the Cameron County area as well as Brownsville. Now, this is an issue that affects a lot of people in the world, and a lot of the time they don't want to talk about it, or they don't know how to handle it, or they don't know where to turn or who to talk to for help, or how to help someone who might be in a situation like that. So this is why I know you are creating this expo, and I think this is a way to kind of get that conversation started.
It's a good way to get the conversation started and to keep it going. As you know, when a female gets a job, you call your mother and, Mom, I got a job, it's great, but you're not going to call your mother and say, you know what, guess what, I just got beat last night. So it's a very serious problem, and this is our way of reaching out to the females, because I know that there's males that get also assaulted, but for the most part, it's a female, to encourage them that they're not alone, that there are organizations, there are agencies, there are individuals that are willing to help them, but that they need to make the first move in picking up the phone and calling. Other folks can also help, be it sisters, brothers, neighbors. If you hear of something, pick up the phone and call the police, get the police involved, and let's try and help these women, survive this really bad situation that they find themselves in.
Definitely. And when did you decide to kind of take this head on and really start doing something to kind of bring the awareness?
We started this back in 2013 when I became DA. I used to be the magistrate before I became DA, and invariably when we would arraign people, out of 10 arraignments, 5 of those cases involved domestic violence. And in fact, statistics shows that 1 out of 4 women is the victim of domestic violence. So it's our way of reaching out to people, letting them know that there's a problem, and getting them involved in solving the problem.
Of course. Now, with this expo, what can kind of people expect to learn or to kind of experience through it?
The expo offers a lot of community resources. It offers a lot of victims that are come and talk about their story, and specifically we have an art contest, and in fact the graphic that we show here this morning is the winner from last year. Wow. And this is an art depicted by a student. These are high school kids, and you have to ask yourself, how is it that they can depict this? And the answer is very sadly because they've probably seen it. So this is, the art contest is very emotional and very moving and very revealing, actually.
Most definitely. And I have to imagine that the people who are invited do tend to come, and maybe it's people who are in a similar situation or are being affected by domestic violence in some way or another. Now, I have to imagine that when they do hear those testimonials from people survivors that got out of the situation, it really means much more than somebody maybe who may not be familiar with the situation.
Well, yes, indeed. And in fact, what we try and do is be proactive about it. As a prosecutor, it's very frustrating for me, because by the time that I show up in court to hold the perpetrator accountable, the damage has been done. The lady, the wife, the girlfriend has been beaten up, and a lot of times the assault occurred in front of the children. And research shows that those children are going to grow up and repeat the conduct. So by reaching out, and particular in picking the venue, which is Texas Southmost College, which is young people, is our way of trying to reach the young people, to be proactive, and to redirect and redirect their thinking, to return to the old values of respecting women and not hitting women, so we don't have to find ourselves in court someday.
Most definitely. And so how can people sign up to attend this expo, or maybe if they want to participate in any other way to kind of get involved?
It's a free event on October 25th at Texas Southmost College. Starts at 5 o'clock. The public is invited to participate, to come learn about domestic violence, to come get involved in domestic violence as a volunteer with some of the organizations that are there willing to help. So I invite the public to come hear about it, come learn about it, and come get involved in it.
Most definitely. Now, you mentioned that you started doing this back in 2013. Now, what other kind of things have you started to do to kind of raise awareness aside from just this kind of expo?
What we're doing and what we've been doing all week, we've been going out to the high schools.
Okay.
We were in Santa Rosa High School yesterday. We were in Pace. This afternoon we're going to be at the Leondo High School again, talking to the young people, reaching the young people, because that's the folks that we hope to stem the tide, you know, to instruct them and redirect them, to help prevent the violence, to help them, you know, empower them to deal with their emotions, to learn how to walk away, and to teach them how to do other things before resorting to violence.
Of course. And when you were at these talks with the kids, do they tend to ask questions? Are they very, you know, engaged in kind of what's being presented in front of them?
They're very engaged. I mean, they're very somber. They're very sad about it. And you can only imagine that what we are talking about is resonating with them, because they're just, I mean, just taking it in. And I know that we're getting to them. And I know that that's what we want to do, is take the message to the young folks to help them prevent it before we have to be in court.
Most definitely, of course. Well, folks, this event is coming up on October 25th. Now, as you mentioned, it is a free event, and it'll be held at Texas Southmost College. So make sure to go on out, get some information. If you can or are in the area, definitely go and stop by to kind of educate yourself and, of course, raise that awareness. If you want to, go ahead and call 509-2522 for more information about this event coming up. Thank you, sir, so much for coming in today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and it's fabulous what you all are doing out there to kind of raise this awareness.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, folks. Well, October is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and coming up, we'll talk about a way that you can get involved. Stay with us.